This video is brought to you by Atlas VPN.
Very for science. For science. But why? Why? Water. But why? Why? But why? Why? Water. For science. Water. Pizza with a very
Hello noble ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking, and if you've been following this channel for a while, you already know that I have clashed with MatPat's video production already quite a few times on this channel, whether it be game theory, food theory, whatever you theory.
Science.
Now, of course, I don't hate the guy, but I do tend to hate what he does on his channels. So, today, we're talking pizza. And I do not take that lightly. So let's just jump into it. Let's see what he has got to say.
Now, if you've been following our theories for a while, you might...
Thank God he chose yellow for Food Theorists and not white. We dodged a bullet there.
be aware that I lived in New York City for about 2 years. It's actually the place where game theory was born. See that door right there? Sorry, it might be hard to make out behind that massive head of hair. Didn't have enough money for a haircut. Anyway.
What massive head of hair?
There is plenty of things not to love about living in New York, but one thing that cannot be denied is that New York has incredible pizza. I've lived...
Okay, so already... One thing that cannot be... Well, so I've been to New York, of course, a few times, and yeah, their pizza is good. I like New York pizza. I wouldn't say it's incredible, though, which already makes the fact that it can't be denied. I mean... But yeah, please. Don't want to get pedantic or anything.
I've lived on the East Coast, the West Coast, in the North, in the South, and nowhere in the US compares. Heck, it even has some of the best pizza internationally. But why? Why can't...
Now, already the first statement that no one else compares in the US, I think people from Chicago are going to have a thing or two to say. But then again, that's your own thing, you know, I'll leave it for the dispute within Americans. But already this statement, oh, even internationally, nowhere compares. In fact, it even goes beyond that. Check this out.
Why can't anywhere else seem to match what New York's able to do with their pizza pies?
Why? Okay. His channels have this fresh, polished coat of paint that wants to make it look as if they are very scientific.
Science.
But then his methods, and even the statements that he has on his videos, are anything but scientific. Of course, in this case we are talking pizza, so you'd say, it doesn't really matter, does it? And then you'll remember you're watching an Italian.
Why?
Nowhere else, even internationally, can replicate what they do in New York with their pizza. If you have never been to freaking Naples, you can't make that statement. Naples is where pizza, the way we understand it, not its predecessors in ancient Greece, but pizza the way you understand it, was born. And Naples pizza is a massive contender. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Italian, I'm saying when you bring international onto the table, it becomes a matter of, but have you been to Naples? And mind you, if you have been to Naples, you try the pizza in Naples, and then you tell me, I've had pizza in Naples, but I prefer it in New York, I can respect that. I would disagree. To me, it's no game. Like, New York pizza is good, Neapolitan pizza is like... And this is why I want to give a shout out to a channel called Brett Conti. So he made a video called I flew from New York City to Italy to compare pizza. New York City versus Naples. If you want to bring in the international part of it,
internationally,
this is how you do it. The guy freaking had pizza in New York. You've got to watch this video, guys. It's excellent. And then he flew to Naples and had the pizza there. But let's continue.
Well, we here at Team Theorist actually did some testing. Nope, the secret ingredient is actually this. Water. My friends, you are never gonna believe it.
Well, you're right. I'm never gonna believe anything you say. I'm sorry, you lost me already, like 5 years ago. But yeah, we're gonna see. He is basing this entire video on the fact that water is the secret ingredient in pizza, and I will comment on that. But that's not the only thing that I'm gonna focus here. There are several things that he says on this video that are absolutely inaccurate and make zero sense. The way he actually does the test, oh my gosh. Now, if you're like me and you like to surf the internet looking for interesting historical information, it's a great idea to do it in safety, which is why you should totally use today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. A VPN is a virtual private network that makes all of your internet traffic travel through an encrypted tunnel, and this way it protects you from spying, public Wi-Fi dangers, it hides your IP address, and online activities. Atlas VPN is a great choice because it was developed by cyber security specialists, and among other things, it gives you access to the Data Breach Monitor, which is a security feature designed to track any data breaches related to your online account, automatically scanning any leaked information. But another add-on through Atlas VPN is the fact that you can use Netflix from any countries, regardless of where you are. So let's say that you wanted to watch a show that is only available in the UK, but you live in America. No problem, just change your country through the VPN and boom, access granted. I always have Atlas VPN active on my machines, and that is because one account lets you use multiple devices. I personally really like Atlas VPN not only because it's a great choice, but also because it's really affordable, and that links to today's special offer. Grab the big deal. That's $1.83 a month for 3 years plus 3 months for free. If you've been considering getting a VPN but you weren't sure about the prices, then now is the time. And don't forget to click the link in the description. That's $1.83 a month for 3 years plus 3 months for free. Keep in mind that this is a time-limited offer, so be quick and click the link in the description. And big thanks to Atlas VPN for sponsoring my video. Let's go.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the show that smuggles water across state lines for science. Ever since that
Science, please put it in quotes. This whole thing about smuggling water through different state lines that you just proudly announced here, you wait for it, because it's gonna be the complete downfall of this video.
New York City's an island. It has no farms, no fields, no cows, in a desert for fresh local ingredients. Is the secret ingredient. The X factor appears to be none of those things. If you ask the locals, they'll tell you that none of that other stuff matters.
Well, the locals absolutely have no idea what they're talking about when they say that all the ingredients mean absolutely nothing on the quality, final result, and overall flavor of a pizza. Of course they do. Are they the only thing? No. And that's why the water thing also plays a part. That's the reality of it. But to say this,
tell you that it's all about the water. That's right.
It cannot be all about the water.
When you ask why, no one actually has a reason. It's just the thing that the locals say.
New York is not the only place where people tell you the secret for a good pizza is water. You know another town where I have heard those exact same words? Naples. Literally, but he doesn't know that because he has never been.
So, does the water in New York make that much of a difference? And if so, why? Let me tell you, testing this whole thing was getting water from different parts of the country all at the same time. Luckily, Zach, one of our longtime researchers, had a wedding to go to up north in New Jersey. So, at my request, in between the vows and the reception, he was able to siphon off a few gallons of the good stuff. What else?
So, keep this one in mind because you're getting there. He had a guy in his team go to New Jersey because he needed to go there for a marriage, a wedding, and then he got some water from New Jersey, right? Okay.
Are wedding guests supposed to do while the bride and groom are taking their pictures? Eat? Drink? Have fun? No! They're doing science. I then asked Zach to ship me a few more gallons from his hometown in Richmond, Virginia. Of course, we also had some local North Carolina water to use as well to give us a third test case. The goal was to create 3 pizzas, all identical to each other with only one variable, the source of the water.
Okay, so the overall idea on the basis of this test is not actually bad. Have 3 pizzas, look the exact same thing, just change the water, and then you can see what impact the water has on the final product. That's not bad. In theory, food theorists, but here is the problem.
All the pizzas were made at the exact same time using the exact same method and ingredients.
So if you haven't noticed this, he's making it. He's not having a professional. He's not paying like someone who's been a pizzaiolo, has been making pizza for like a decade and they know what they're doing. No, he's doing the test with his friends. The The same problem as when he was trying to make a video on medieval swordsmanship and real historical swordsmanship, and instead of paying a HEMA instructor to have a professional handle the sword and shield combat and show what actually happened before trying to come up with a scientific conclusion, he himself had to do it because he had to be in front of the camera for everything, and he just paid a Hollywood choreographer. And then started discussing about real historical swordsmanship in the Middle Ages. It's the same problem over and over and over again, which is MatPat's lack of understanding when it comes to the difference between someone who's been doing a job for many years and therefore what they do, what they know what they're doing, and someone who hasn't done that specific thing but thinks he's smart because he reads a few things on Google.
Anyway, we left our dough to rest for 24 hours, which gave it plenty of time to proof and develop some of that flavor before we got ready to make some serious pizza. But shockingly, upon pulling the dough out of the containers, there were immediate and very obvious differences.
Yes, but those differences, you don't know if they have to do with the way you handled the dough and the way you made the pizzas, not knowing what you're doing because you're not a professional. Shout out to all those people that are professionals and know how to do all of these jobs that he just fails to recognize anything that isn't like a chemist or a mathematician. This guy just thinks he can do it. You don't know if the differences we're gonna see have to do with how you try to do it rather than just the water.
But the New Jersey dough was a beast all its own. It was thin. It was...
That looks horrible. Yes, slimy. Was just about to say that does not... I've never seen a pizza dough look like that. Never. And please keep in mind this is from water from New Jersey. Keep that one in mind.
Slimy. It stretched much thinner and much more quickly. It was literally like soup, like a big watery oatmeal. New Jersey's dough, on the other hand, stretched very easily, which made it a lot more challenging to work with. But when it tore, the dough around it was always translucent because everything was able to stretch so thinly. In fact, to even get it to have some solid substance in order to make the pizzas, we had to feed it more flour. Real talk, guys?
So you already changed the amount of flour that you put in between the pizzas, which of course is gonna change. Oh my god.
Throwing them onto a preheated pizza stone for 12 minutes. The results were mind-blowing. The crusts on the
The results look like shit. Pizza. Yeah.
North Carolina and Virginia pizzas on average wound up being about 10 millimeters thick. The New Jersey dough, meanwhile, with its more watery dough, 5 millimeters. Literally.
The thickness also has to do with how you spread the pizza, and you don't need to be a professional to recognize that. And by the looks of it, you really didn't know how to do it, which makes sense. You're not a pizzaiolo.
Only half the thickness. Clearly, something was different here. But what? The only difference, after all, was just the water. So we decided to do some more testings. Heck, even within the same city, different water sources can have slight differences in their composition.
So, let me get this straight. You just stated that even within the same city, different water sources will have different basically constituents or slight difference in composition, which of course would result in different pizza doughs. And after having said this, you tell us that the water you're using to represent New York is from New Jersey? And besides, you're not even telling us where in New Jersey, because, I mean, given, if it's New Jersey in the sense that you literally just crossed the bridge, and I guess you drove for 30 minutes, maybe it's not gonna be too different from some of the areas right next to that bridge in New York. But then again, if you're trying to test somewhere in Brooklyn, well, it's gonna be quite different. But if this is in New Jersey in the sense that it's somewhere quite far from New York City, which is very possible since you didn't choose it because of proximity, you chose it because that's where your friend needed to go for his wedding, what you made does not represent New York pizza. It could maybe represent New Jersey pizza in a specific local area. You should have got the same type of water that a famous pizza place in New York uses. And then have a professional make two pizza and, you know, just with the same ingredients but the different waters. Maybe. Not to mention, how was the transportation of this water? How was it transported? And again, I'm no chemist, so you tell me if you are. But I would imagine the method of transportation, how long it took, was it refrigerated or not, temperature, all of that could make a difference and impact in the final results. So this is the least scientific test that they could have ever run on this. And it makes the entire test completely useless. Then you tell us that you're getting water from New Jersey, You use it to represent New York pizza, and then 3 minutes later you tell us that even in the same city, different sources will mean different water compositions, so never mind. Oh my gosh, this is such a mess.
New York City itself pulls from 2 different sources at times, leading some residents to complain that their water tastes differently from other parts of town.
Exactly, which means this entire video, the way you have orchestrated it, makes 0 sense. It has logical fallacies, it has methodological fallacies, it has test fallacies, and it uses the wrong test subjects. Science.
Science. In fact, let me know down in the comments what your local specialty is. I'd be curious to see what local delicacies we have represented, and who knows, maybe me and my pool testing kit will wind up in your neck of the woods.
Oh, please don't.
To understand scientifically the magic that's being created in your kitchen. So the next time you're in a different part of the country, or maybe a different country altogether, grab a few bottles from the tap to bring home and get cooking. But hey, that's just a theory of food.
I don't think it even deserves to be called a theory in the scientific sense.
Theory. Bon appetit.
Yeah, more B-roll of his trash.